Today we're diving into the world of high-end gaming monitors with the Alienware 32-inch 4K AW3225QF OLED. And trust me when I say that this monitor is everything gamers have been asking for. So let's jump in and see what sets this monitor apart from the competition. Let's start with the most polarizing feature, the 1700R curve, which according to their marketing materials mimics the natural curve of our eyes, which in theory means you see more in your peripheral vision. Which at first blush sounds like a marketing gimmick. But after 2 whole weeks of use, I'm starting to drink the Kool-Aid. And that's saying a ton, since fans of my channel already know that I tend to shy away from curved displays because of their limitations when it comes to doing professional creative work. So if you're considering picking one of these up and plan on using it as your main design plus gaming display, you're out of luck. And I suggest you wait for flat panel models from Samsung or LG that will debut later this year. Now, for the rest of you that are looking for the best gaming monitor on the market, you're in luck, since the Alienware delivers in every other category imaginable. Coming in at exactly 31.6 inches, this Alienware display truly outshines all of its competitors. With a native 3840 by 2160 4K resolution and 240 Hz refresh rate, this screen is not only fast, it is color accurate as and this can be attributed to the underlying quantum dot OLED technology, which is different than white OLED technology in one major way. QD-OLED combines OLED technology with quantum dots that pass blue OLED light through a layer of quantum dots, which convert blue light into red and green. These colors are then combined to create the full and vibrant color spectrum. On the other hand, WOLED uses white light pushed through a filter to create colors. This difference results in less brightness for WOLED monitors, and in order to combat this, manufacturers implement a white subpixel to offset the loss of brightness. Now, obviously, both technologies have their pros and cons, but ultimately, if you're looking for the most color accurate, vibrant, and bright display, QD-OLED is where it's at. And before some troll in the comments section attacks me for not mentioning the raised black levels of QD-OLED, well, the Alienware combats this with a glossy screen finish. And if this sets off alarm bells for some of you because you hate glossy finishes, I can attest that yes, there is a bit of reflection if there are lights behind you, but it's quite minimal and handled very well. With the underlying technology out of the way, we can focus on actual numbers. And here is where it starts to get crazy. This display sports 140 pixels per inch with 100% coverage of the sRGB color gamut, 95% of the Adobe RGB color gamut, 97% of the DCI-P3 color gamut, a delta E measurement of 0.6, and a peak contrast ratio of 1,000,000:1. This display is flat out the best display I've ever laid my hands on. It even comes color calibrated from the factory, and here are my display's exact details. And in case all those numbers mean absolutely nothing to you, the basic translation is simple. OLEDs allow for true blacks by turning off each individual black pixel, which is a massive reason this display is able to render insane levels of color accuracy. And trust me when I tell you, as a professional designer that understands color theory, the ability to render true black is essential, but don't take my word for it. The images on screen should speak for themselves. But what about the nits? Well, when given an SDR signal, I saw an average brightness between 238 and 240 nits. And in HDR, I was in the 480 range with a peak brightness of 1,000 nits. But what about refresh rate? Well, it's coming in hot with a native 240 Hz refresh rate via DisplayPort and 120 Hz via HDMI and a 0.03 millisecond response time. Insane! And when it comes to I/O, this monitor supports DisplayPort 1.4 and comes with 2 HDMI 2.1 ports, with one of them supporting eARC. And yes, it does VRR at 120 Hz over HDMI. Oh, and did I mention this display also supports Dolby Vision? And before I forget, the monitor has one USB 3.2 Gen 1 Type B upstream port and 2 USB 3.2 Gen 1 Type A downstream ports. And for those of you concerned with mounting this display, it is VESA 100 compatible and weighs 13 pounds. Now, let's be honest, all these numbers mean nothing if it doesn't make your games look and feel amazing. And I'm happy to report that this display chewed up and spit out everything, and I mean everything I threw at it. From the beautiful scenic vistas of A Plague's Tale and Forza Horizon 5 to the brutalist architecture of Control and dark corridors of Aliens, this display impresses with its ability to render pure, inky blacks. And that's just the tip of the iceberg, because when it comes to games that are really pushing dynamic color range like Cyberpunk and Doom Eternal, the Alienware didn't break a sweat. Hell, it even made older games like Metro Exodus with ray tracing enabled and Fallout 4 with all the settings set to ultra look like brand new games. It's that good, no hyperbole. And for those of you that plan to use this with your PS5 and Xbox Series X, you're in luck since it supports VRR at 120Hz, making games like Returnal on PlayStation 5 not only look incredible, but feel extremely responsive, which is essential when playing this game. However, no evaluation of this display would be truly exhaustive without challenging it with games like Alan Wake 2, which demand exceptional contrast to capture the subtlest details within its numerous shadowy scenes. Yet, with all this incredible performance, there are 3 areas you should carefully consider before picking one of these up. The first being its sub-pixel layout. Since this is an OLED screen, reading small type may cause eye strain due to a lack of clarity when compared to IPS panels that use a standard RGB subpixel layout. And while this Alienware model is using the new Gen 2 subpixel layout that dramatically improves on the shortcomings of its 34-inch predecessor, it's still not perfect. But wait, I need to mention that this is common for all OLED screens and not something specific to Alienware displays. All OLED displays exhibit this behavior. So if you plan to do a ton of email and Excel spreadsheets, you might want to see this monitor in person before picking one up. The second thing you should consider before picking this monitor up is its polarizing design aesthetic that leans towards a futuristic look that, might be a deal breaker for some of you. I personally lean more towards sleek black and uber minimal design, but again, this is up to personal style and preference. And for those of you that really love RGB, you might be a little disappointed since the LEDs are relegated to the small Alienware logo, the model number on the back, and the power button on the front. And since we're talking about the power button, I should mention the thumbstick on the underside of the display that controls the intuitive on-screen display, granting you the ability to control everything from LEDs, picture-in-picture, input source. The list just goes on and on. And finally, the third sticking point is the price tag. Coming in at a whopping $1,200, all this gaming display goodness comes at a premium price that will undoubtedly give most of you sticker shock. Agree? Disagree? Let me know all about it in the comment section below. But more importantly, smash that like, subscribe, and bell button. It not only notifies you when I drop a new episode, it helps me to produce these extremely expensive and time-consuming videos. That's right, I paid for this monitor out of my own pocket. Catch you guys next time.